What's up guys, Game Week 12 wildcard, let's get right into it. Now guys, obviously, you've got to like and subscribe, you've got to do it, it's got to be done. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now guys, wildcard is clearly the most exciting time of the year for FPL, so I cannot wait to show you guys the team I've cooked up. It could obviously change, we've got a 2-week international break, and I might change my mind because I'm an indecisive guy. But I'm taking a lot of care into this wildcard video because it's my wildcard team, It's not me just making a good one. This is how I think my team is going to look. So, first up, we are going to look at the goalkeeper position. Now, guys, you see the rectangle beneath me? That's going to be showing the bench. Some players you won't see on the pitch. Now, the goalkeepers, first one we've got is David Raya. Now, at the beginning of the season, I was a huge advocate for, saying you could just get a 4.5 to 5 million keeper who is going to keep up with Raya and get just as many points. And the other side of the fence was, well, it's the cheapest route to the Arsenal defence. And I'm kind of jumping onto that side of the fence now because I want an Arsenal defender for their great run of games, but I can't afford all my favourite attackers, bringing in someone like Gabriel or Salah. And guys, I know, the Arsenal defence has been anything but reliable recently, but they've had a hard run of games and they've been on some bad form. But guys, as you all know, form is very temporary, and in these next 6 games, I see a potential 3 or 4 clean sheets from Arsenal, I really do. And on the bench, we've got Fabianski, a 4 million starting goalkeeper who just got an 8-pointer, so clearly he's not all that bad. Now guys, in the defence, we are going small at the back, except for Gvardiol. Gvardiol we are spending a bit of money on, but even then he's not that expensive. Now Gvardiol, guys, he doesn't have the easiest fixtures coming up, let's be honest. But I would start him for pretty much almost any game week except game week 13 and game week 17 in the near future. He's just one of those guys you can always rely on because even in a tough game, he can get a random clean sheet and a random goal involvement. So I quite like him. The other 2 defenders in the starting lineup, we got Mazraoui and we got Colwill. Now both these guys, I don't expect loads from them at the end of the day. They're 4.5 midfielders. Colwill is the most reliable player from that Chelsea defence, playing the full 90 of every game this season I think, maybe like missing out 1 at most. He's a very reliable guy for minutes in that Chelsea defence, and he's only 4.5 mil. Most teams pushing for top 4 football don't have a 4.5 mil defender that's getting regular game time. And the Chelsea fixture run, it's okay right now, but then in a few game weeks time, it gets really good. I mean, we're talking like 6 or 7 green fixtures in a row, so it's definitely a defence I don't want to miss out on, even though they haven't kept many clean sheets this season. And next to him, Mazraoui. Now, Manchester United, they do play away to Arsenal and Man City, I'm pretty sure, in the next 6 game weeks. But the fixtures around those 2 hard fixtures all have clean sheet potential, playing against teams low in the bottom half of the table. And as we all know, Manchester United, we've kept 5-6 clean sheets already this season. So it's not like United can't keep a clean sheet, and Mazraoui doesn't have the most attacking potential for a United player. That's probably more Diogo Dalot. But Mazraoui is easily one of United's best players this season. He can either play on the left or on the right, which makes him an insanely reliable fullback. Reliable for minutes and reliable for not getting subbed off before the 60th minute like Dalot did against Leicester. And of course, guys, we're not leaving out Ryan Aït-Nouri. He is on the bench. Playing away to Fulham is not that easy nowadays. In today's climate, it's quite a tough game, so I've left him on the bench with my 3.9 million defender. And I like having 4 playing defenders in this, even though I'm only ever going to play 3 at the same time. It's always nice to be able to rotate the defender with an awful fixture. In the midfield now, guys, it's very basic. You're going to see almost every single midfield look like this on Wildcard, but there's a reason every single midfield is going to look like this on Wildcard. We're going to start with the big 3 premiums, Salah, Saka and Palmer. Salah is obviously the king of FPL and he gets points every week against any team. He's fixture proof and he can't stop returning. He's killing my FPL team. I really don't like him at the moment, so I've got to get him in my team. It's like the biggest no-brainer you can have on this wild card, Just bring him in, guys. Bring him in either way. Everybody needs to own Salah. Ditch Haaland and bring in Salah. With Bukayo Saka and Cole Palmer, their expected data isn't even in the top 10 based on recent form. Their data is not that good, and they're not getting the most points out of many players in the game. There's cheap players who are outscoring them at the moment, but this doesn't matter too much. Arsenal have been on bad form. They've had a run of kind of tough games. They got a red card in the Bournemouth game, so that one was technically tough, even though on paper it's not. And Palmer, again, Chelsea have played some really tough games, and at this point in the season, their expected data isn't that high. It's not that of a 10 mil player. But earlier on in the season, both of them have had really high expected data playing against the easy teams. So I expect it is going to sort up when I bring both of them in. Because Chelsea and Arsenal are 2 teams with, good long-term fixture runs. So why would you not bring in Saka and Palmer, the two big dogs from those teams? Another thing I like about Saka, similar to Salah, he is also fixture proof. He can score against any tough team. Whereas Palmer, he gets big points against the lower teams, but against the tougher teams, he may not always do as much. But the pros still massively outweigh the cons because Palmer has hat-trick potential against every team in the bottom half of the table. Then we've got Morgan Rogers, obviously the best value player in the game. If he's not in your team, I don't really know what you're thinking. He does have some tough games. I mean, he's playing away to Chelsea the game week after this, and then he's got a few more good games, and then he's got some tough games again, you know. But Morgan Rogers is one of those players who's bringing you so much value, you should keep him in throughout the entire season because he's only 5.4 mil for me. He's only 5.2 because I got him early on. But you've got a team like Aston Villa who are pushing for Champions League football. They're a team that's good enough to score against any team in the league, and Morgan Rogers is a starting attacker for that team. At 5.4 mil, you're not going to find anything better. As we've seen, guys, just a couple game weeks ago, he scored away to Tottenham, so he can score in the tough games. And guys, I don't want to repeat myself again, but at 5.4 million, 6 returns in 7 game weeks, that is huge. That's some value you're just not going to find elsewhere, which is why I think Rogers is a must-have in every wildcard team. Now, guys, this 5th midfielder spot here, now I'm looking at Bruno, but you could also look at Mbumo as well. The reason I'm not going with Mbumo is because when Wissa plays, he kind of takes the expected goals away from Mbumo, and Mbumo doesn't get as many points usually. Whereas Bruno is clearly on a great run of form right now. And both of these players, Bruno and Mbumo, are only going to be in the wildcard team for 2 game weeks. They've both got 2 good game weeks left. Then they're going to get sold either way. It's just depending, you know, which one are you going to go for. And even though Mbumo is the safer option to go for, I believe Bruno is going to get more points in the next 2 game weeks. I mean, he did just get me 34 points as my captain in game week 11. I can't just ditch him after that as well, can I, guys? I mean, where would my honour be, you know? I've got to stick by the boys who stuck by me. Also, Salah would be my captain going into game week 12. Now, guys, on to the front 3. There is no Haaland. Obviously, we cannot afford him right now. And I don't even care that we can't afford him because he's simply not worth the 15 million. First one we're looking at is Isak. Now, guys, Isak, at the beginning of the season, was the highest owned player in the game. Obviously, he wasn't everything we hoped for. Don't get me wrong, he didn't play well. But now he's had a few games off on his back. He's returned 3 games in a row. His form is looking good. And I think it's down to the fact Newcastle have found their balance now. They're playing well as a team. And it's perfect timing for Isak. Now Newcastle have a great fixture run you've got to take advantage of. Top 4 fixture runs on Wildcard. Definitely a team in general you want to target. And Isak is obviously by a mile the best asset. So this one here, no brainer. Finishing off the starting 11, we've got Cunha playing away to Fulham. Now, like I said about the Wolves fixture run earlier with 8 Nori, it is the best fixture run in the game. Game week 12 just happens to be their hardest fixture in the next 6 or 7 games. And even then, it's only a great fixture. Away to Fulham is not something impossible, you know. Cunha, played in hard games, has already scored quite a few goals. So this one is no different. He has the potential to score or assist in any game. And after having a pretty high point tally after all these hard games Wolves has played, imagine what he can do for your FPL team in the easy games. Also, I have a 4.5 million forward on the bench. Anyway, guys, that is the current wildcard team as it stands. Let me know what you think of it. Do you agree or disagree with any of the options I've chosen? Please let me know in the comments. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.